What a spectacular week of snooker. Now we witness two of the world's best players fight for the title of 2025 Players Champion and £150,000. It's Sunday, settle in. There's no better place to be than live with us on ITV. Let's welcome our players. Up first into the arena is the reigning world champion. It's the warrior, Kyren Wilson! And his opponent is the world ranked #1. It's the ace in the pack, Judd Trump.
What a reception. This is snooker's ultimate 1-2 punch, and it should be a knockout. Top of the rankings, top of the tree, top of the world, head to head.
Thanks, Robert. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. The first frame. Judd Trump to break.
It's a race to 10 for 150 grand and bragging rights.
Yeah, what a fantastic atmosphere. Great reception for both players. Crowd packed to the rafters. What more could you want? The world's #1 and 2 players. The break-off, not one of Judd Trump's best, hitting the blue on the way back up. Well, he's got an early opportunity to red. It's not easy. The cue ball not going, he hopes, into the reds. Playing it with a trace of right-hand side to avoid any chance of that.
One.
But they are the outstanding 2 players, you know, of the season. Their position in the rankings and the seedings for this event just prove all of that. It's a fascinating clash, I think. And that is an excellent shot. That is perfectly played.
5.
From brown to red.
Six.
Not a gimme pot, let alone the exquisite pace. Is it going to be the same blueprint as last night? Trump, red from distance, big century. That
14.
was his statement break in the first frame against John Higgins. He'd love to do the same here.
21.
Well, if points make prizes, Trump has got the edge.
22. Twenty-nine. Thirty.
Well, you want to get the bunch open, the earliest opportunity. Might be a red to middle. Cue ball kind of came back away from the
47.
reds, having made contact initially.
Thirty.
It's a confident start this from Judd. Yes, the break-off didn't go too well, but you've got to start well in these matches. Apply early pressure to your opponent. An opponent who has beaten him in a couple of big finals this season, it has to be said. Kyren Wilson has got the better of Judd Trump.
$45.
Just threading through the gap onto this red.
46.
Stayed down on it. It was a little thin in contact, but just fell in. And he's just not quite right on this pink now. He's got to nudge into reds in potting it. It's a typical Trump break, you know. The cue ball's not exactly immaculate like other players, but he keeps breaks alive so well.
53.
I think that's actually an advantage. He gives opponents hope and then keeps dashing it. Out of the gate. Like a rocket.
60.
Well, this first frame is almost over. And it's coming up 6 minutes in
67.
duration. So he's racing out to the blocks here.
$68.
There's a little smattering of applause for frame ball. Now to add to the tally of centuries, I guess. In the quest for 100 for the season
74.
and the bonus.
$75.
The way he's going, Neil, in that regard, might well threaten the Neil Robertson
81.
record for a season, 103. And don't think he's not trying to do it. He's trying lights out.
Yes, he'd like to start with one here for a number of reasons, including the bonus of 100,000 for 100 in the season, but it's not easy where the balls are, actually. He's got work to do. Yeah, played that nicely. He played it with screw and a little bit of right hand reverse
89.
check, if you like. If that's even what it's called. Just sending the cue ball narrow off that cushion towards the red.
$90.
Well, he tried to disturb the red, but the double kiss, if anything, pushed it closer to the cushion.
Good shot, 90. And the frame.
No century, but a very impressive marker has been laid down in the #1 frame of this final. The world #1 prevails. Engraved on the Players' Championship trophy.
Oh,
Judd Trump's name appears there twice already.
thanks.
But Kyren Wilson knows all about making breakthroughs against Trump. His very first ranking title, the 2015 Shanghai Masters, was won, beating Trump 10-9 in the final. Ever since, he's been a thorn in the ace-in-the-pack side.
Yes, this is a rivalry that, of course, goes back to the junior days of the two of them. Of course, Judd, a little older, was, as a junior player, he was just on a different planet to everyone else, actually. But, you know, Kyren was growing up sort of just maybe a year or two down the line, trying to match what Judd had achieved. They've known each other a long time. I think, as Judd said, you know, they've got very different personalities. That's fair enough. There's a mutual respect there for sure. But it has to be said that they wouldn't like to lose to each other. That's fair enough, I think. Now, this is a test. The red below it stops him just playing onto the black into the same pocket as the red. That would be the natural shot here. But of course he can't do it. That's nicely played. I don't think that shot would come quite as naturally as in punching it going below centre of cue ball, but he still trundled it in nicely.
Stephen Hendry made a very good point last night, saying these days when Trump's in amongst the balls, you expect him to stay there. And he's banging amongst them now.
Eight. Nine.
Yes, as you say, you know, the opening red, the way he rolled it in quite coolly, has given in this
16.
wonderful chance. At the moment, Kyren Wilson has barely played a shot and not done a great deal
17.
wrong. But he's already staring down the barrel somewhat of a, albeit a long match, but you don't want to be on the wrong end of an early onslaught. Wow. How about that?
Judd Trump, 17.
Well, we haven't seen much of that from anybody this whole week. A regulation black off the spot missed.
Yes, he was applying side, but at this level, that was straightforward. And Wilson knows the importance of punishment.
One.
Yes, I think that's the difference in the pockets on the tables for this event than one or two of the overseas events that have been generous. It would probably have still gone in, let's say, the World Open, that black, which was never hit quite right, let's be honest. If you hit them properly, they will always drop.
6.
If you don't, then you'll get punished.
Seven.
I'd be a little annoyed there. He got into the cue ball more than he wanted to. He played the cannon, but just hit
14.
the wrong side of the red that he was intending to hit. He wanted to hit maybe the right side of it. Screwed back too much and just hit the left side. And to keep this break going now, well, it would be a mighty difficult thin cut. I don't believe there's anything else there. He might have to just walk away from this, play safe.
Kyren motion 14.
Well, as he comes to the table, conflicting emotions for Judd Trump. He will be very annoyed he messed up that chance. He will be very relieved it cost him only 14 points.
One.
It's a brilliant pot, but the kiss on the black not particularly helpful. I think he probably felt he would probably go around the back of it. Can't think he was looking to go into the black there, because he loses control when he does.
I don't think that the balls that were used for the semis.
Well, what's this? Some query about the set of balls I think I heard there, because Leo Scullion said the same balls were used for the semi-finals.
You check that.
No, I think Leo asking for that to be checked. Now, what could be different about them? I'm not sure.
Green ball.
They're all meant to be the same. It could be the cue ball. It could be that he felt the cue ball was light. I mean, in potting that red, as I said at the time, he thought he would go around the back of the black. It doesn't react quite the same. It's lighter than the other balls. I'm not saying that's the case, but I think that's what Judd feels could be happening. And that's also misjudged. So we'll keep a watching brief on that. Judging by the reaction of the balls, it's a big error.
One.
The thing is, Neil, when you play the game to such small tolerances, a tiny difference can make a massive difference.
Yeah, I mean, look, without going into it too much, over the years, in many a Pro-Am or certain events, you will get that situation where the cue ball is not as heavy as the others for reasons unknown. But not so much these days on these top conditions. It would be quite a rarity. And it would obviously react differently. Anyway, the mistake that he made in potting the black would have had nothing to do with the cue ball being as he didn't expect. Apparently it's the same set of balls as we used yesterday, so hopefully it'll put an end to that matter.
Yeah, always the possibility it could be just one rogue reaction for one single shot.
Hello. $17. 18.
So you can't always win frames with centuries. You have to win frames of this kind where, you know, a break of 40 or 50 here is plenty enough and as valuable. See, that cannon has gone wrong. He played to hit the red full on, so a few cannons have not quite gone as expected.
24.
Red to middle instead. With Judd, though,
25.
you know, he has so many ways of making a break, as we've said. Slightly out of position, he always seems to be able to recover it.
Yes, and he's a brilliant middle pocket potter. And that's a real badge of honour on these tables where the middles are brutally tight.
32.
Much tighter than a normal club table.
Red colour from here will be enough.
38.
It was more the last safety shot of Kyren's, which really did cost him there.
44.
It was a little heavy-handed, leaving reds on and basically doing all sorts of damage.
45.
There'll be a certain determination of Judd Trump to get one back 51. In a final against Kyren Wilson, I'm sure.
52.
We've not seen these exhibition shots at the end of frames very often because
56.
He's been chasing centuries, but now it's the perfect opportunity.
58. Trump 58 and 3.
The break was only 58. Trump not punished for missing a black off its spot. 2-0. The Players' Championship trophy. It's a long road to get there.
The third frame. Judd Trump to break.
But 2 assertive steps from Judd Trump so far. He's trying to win his 31st world ranking title. If he does so, he'd move within 1 of John Higgins for tied 3rd on the all-time list, with obviously ample time on his side.
Yes, and the point you make about a long road to get there, you're absolutely right. You can be world #1 on the season, but it doesn't mean you're going to be in this. You can be the #1 in the world, but if you don't have the run leading up to it, because it's on the 1 year points. So it's all about relative current form rather than 2 year form. I mean, Kyren didn't even play in this event last year.
Thank you. Foul. Kyren Wilson, 4.
She touched something anyway. Real tap there from Kyren. Of course, he admitted the foul, which it was very difficult to see, actually.
Touching ball.
Make it a chance. See this again. Oh, yes, fingertip just brushed the red, and I think as a consequence, it's not touching the cue ball.
It might seem inconsequential now, but if it's a really tight frame, those 4 points could turn out to be really vital.
Well, as he left a gap through to the red on the left, it looked completely innocuous, as if he wasn't going to leave anything, but he can get through to this. You wouldn't leave that red through that gap very often, playing that roll-up. It looked like Judd had just played the shot perfectly.
Still very early days in this final, of course, but that doesn't mean to say Wilson won't be in the market for an extended stay at the table.
Six.
Make a sizable break, feel involved, basically.
Yeah, he has to do something here. Doesn't want to let this trump start turn into an absolute flyer and start to pull away in the session. It wouldn't take long for that to happen either, the way these two play. Can be an hour into a final, he can be 4 or 5 frames down.
11.
I don't expect long bouts of safety. I expect what most of us are expecting, a blockbuster final here.
Oh. $19. $20. $27. $28.
Played well because a little bit of a check side on there, right-hand side again, stop the cue ball disappearing up the table too far for the black.
the way he retrieved his semi-final against Neil Robertson spoke
45.
volumes for Wilson's fortitude.
$36.
Being 2-0 down won't faze him.
$41. $42.
Grown in stature so much, Kyren Wilson, since
49.
becoming world champion. I mean, he always believed he would be world champion, but it's not as easy as that, is it? I mean, you kind of think you're going to win the lottery every week, don't you? But you don't always hear of people that do, but he strongly believed he could be world champion, and since then, he looks an even better player
50.
than he was at the Crucible. Well, coming to the right of the bunch, he could not really have finished any
55.
further away from the cushion than he did. He did pretty well there. This plant looks dead set from especially where the cue ball is, right behind the two reds. Oh, goodness. That was a surprise. It was dead set.
Kyren Wilson, 55.
I'm very surprised he missed that. Very surprised.
Well, I fully agree, Neil. Not just missed it, but missed it by some way.
He seemed to overhit, didn't he? I don't know why he had to hit it that hard. Sometimes you get a little excited out there, the adrenaline pumps, and you like to hear the balls hitting the back of the pockets hard. That's something that's very common in snooker. Anyway, we move on, but if it costs him the frame, it will haunt him.
Yeah, because right now the balls are primed for a counter if Trump can retaliate. When you're well behind, you want to see all the colours on their spots. You want to see all the reds in the open.
Well, exactly. I mean, while Kyren's got the edge clearly with the points, a healthy 59-point lead, as you say, Phil, I mean, that nothing is safe, and it's almost the next person to be in of the two will probably be favourite to win the frame, and that includes Trump if he pots the next ball. Well, that cue ball has not travelled far enough. This is a bit of a test, but well within the range of Judd Trump with his hand on the table. Pink to the opposite corner available as well. Definitely a chance, that. So as I say, one of the reasons the cue ball did not have to do a lot there.
1.
When Trump realised he'd left a red using the rest, his heart would have sunk. But maybe there's cause for a little optimism here. The cue ball very close to the side cushion. Whatever he takes on here will be a pressure shot, if he indeed goes for one.
Well, it's one of these, if you're 60 behind, you definitely take the yellow and try and play on a red, but when you're 60 in front, you know that the shot could be missed. It clearly passes the brown. That's not the issue, it's just the cue ball under the cushion. So I think a safety shot is what he's going for. I don't think we're going to see a lot of shots refused in this final, but there was evidence of one. Putting the yellow safe, also part of the deal.
Well, Wilson's shot selection logic there was flawless. Not just playing safe, but getting the yellow in an awkward spot.
One.
And now, frame ball coming up.
Eight. Nine.
Kyren Wilson gunning for what would be his 10th world ranking title. With that, he would tie Jimmy White on the all-time list, joint 12th.
16.
Currently, he's occupying a tie on 9 with 2 world champions, John Parrott and Peter Ebdon.
17. 24. 25.
I think a little bit of relief to get this frame one. Taken a couple of bites of the cherry to do it. You know, he didn't win it in the single visit. The plant he missed was a surprise, but he's put it all behind him.
31.
The refusal of that yellow and pushing
42.
it safe turned out to be the right thing to do under the circumstances. It was the percentage call.
39. 40.
And now pushing it back out again over the pocket. Brilliant.
46. 48. Kyren Wilson 48 and 3.
To use cricket parlance, Trump did not bother the scorers. Wilson made a half century, then a 48. Welcome back to the Telford International Centre. Welcome back to a mouth-watering final of the Players' Championship of 2025. One more frame to go before the interval. Judd Trump made a very good start. Breaks of 90 and 58 to lead 2-0. But Kyren Wilson has responded quite nicely. This is a very important match for Judd Trump for so many reasons. Yes, he's well clear at the top of the world rankings. And if he wins today, he will be guaranteed to be world number 1 going into next season.
Thank you. Frame 4, Kyren motion to break.
But if, in this context, is a very big word because Wilson is formidable and formidably determined.
Yes, once he got that cue ball past the brown and not leaving the mid-range red with his hand on the table for Kyren, it was a good shot. It was that kind of safety shot that went wrong in frame 2 for Kyren Wilson. It was more difficult than the one previously, but he hit too much of the red and cue ball didn't really make it very far down the table. Well, there's no obvious safety shot here. I mean, he's got the red that he could go for to the left of the blue, but I mean, he probably would only play to pot that if there was nothing else there for him. And if he were to play it, he might be trying to get the cue ball back down. He's playing the thin one. Could just be avoiding a double kiss here, or hitting the red on the way back up. Yeah, he didn't want to play that red. He played thinner than the sort of natural contact, I think, to avoid the double kiss.
Wilson very good bridging over horribly placed balls. Good off the cushion, good with the rest. I suppose, Neil, pretty good in every department. That's why he's world champion. And he's also got a very steely nerve.
Eight. 9.
What a chance.
16.
What an opportunity.
Yeah, we're kind of saying that safety isn't playing the biggest part in the match, but actually there's been a mistake on either side, which could have been significant. As I mentioned, the mistake Kyren made in frame 2, but the last one of Judd's, while he didn't want to play the red, it was not the most difficult shot to get the up and down safety in. Cue ball heading towards the left-hand jaws, and it's going to prove costly, I think.
24. Yeah.
Well, the natural angle he wants is to run through, but the red below it is kind of in the way. So to avoid the red below the one, he's coming to leave himself quite high on the black. That's why he played the way he did. The cue ball's just about crept past 25. It. He did glance the black on the way through, however, but only just. Hasn't really affected the shot. Just getting the cue ball out of there. Little nudge onto the red to the left of it on the black.
33.
Yeah, that's fine.
$40. $41.
The 6th red. Hopefully the 6th black coming up.
The shot before was not played perfectly, but he didn't even blink, really. He just carried on. Played the holding shot from the black.
$49.
So there's no reason why he shouldn't stay on reds and blacks for the foreseeable. I mean, clearly once he gets past the point, if he does, of getting to the point of no return in the frame, he might just try and do something very special for the audience, but for now he has to win this frame.
56. $57.
Well, that's very good. Again,
64.
Leaving a high angle on the red, which is what you want. You're staying on blacks.
65.
He'll need this black and another red, and then he can maybe concentrate on perhaps making a 147, because there'll be nothing in it as far as the frame. It'll be over. So there you have it. And the crowd are getting behind this now because they realise what is happening. And yes, the 4 reds in the middle of the table have got to be opened, but there's nothing particularly uncomfortable about the setup of the balls for him not to continue what he's trying to achieve.
Thank you. 73.
He knows what's required. He's made 5 147s in pro competition before.
Yeah, what can he do here? Does anything go of those 4? They're scattered a little, but not necessarily to pot one. Wow. Well, this is going to be a huge shot now because he's playing the red
80.
above the pink, and he's going into everything and hoping that somehow the cue will emerge out onto the black with topspin.
81.
Well, all is not necessarily lost. He's going to keep it going. That is what he is going to do. But the pot and holding the cue ball for the follow-up red makes it all quite tricky. The crowd are behind him.
It really is a shame.
81.
But the frame is one. Drama already in what looks like being an absolutely cracking final. The first 4 frames.
The Players' Championship final, it's 2-2, and shortly we'll be joining Stephen Hendry and David Hendon in the commentary box. But before that, time to rejoin Tahir Hajat to reintroduce the players.
Snooker fans, please welcome back your finalists, Kyren Wilson, Judd Trump, and your referee, Leo Scullion.
Coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. Started out with a kiss, added it in up like this. It was only a kiss, it was only a kiss. Now I'm falling asleep and she's calling a cab.
Well, I guess the real drama will come tonight, but this final bubbling along nicely already. Trump making the early running. Hasn't potted a ball, though, in the last 2 frames.
Quickly, please.
As the crowd, and it's a full house here, settle down for another 4. 2 players who always love to win, especially when they're playing each other.
Judd Trump to be.
The 2 top-ranked players in the game. Average frame time just under 12 minutes, so it's been a speedy affair.
Well, already this afternoon, Judd's made more unforced errors than I've seen him most of the week. The guys in the studio talked about the 2 reds he missed at 2-0, which is, say, something he's not been doing this week, throwing up those opportunities. I think both these players are so well matched. They're both going to score heavily, so the decider of this final may be the one who can win the frames they're not supposed to. Maybe pinching frames from 50, 60 behind, and that's what Judd failed to do in that 3rd frame. It's almost like he knew the importance.
8. 9.
Nice. Straight away at the black end again. That maximum attempt in frame 4 fell a bit short. He's in again. And you just feel that Kyren is starting to gain momentum in this final.
16. Can you check the volume on your commentary earpieces, please? Some are quite loud.
Yeah, and it's worth repeating that they played 4 matches over multi-sessions before this one, and Wilson's won them all. 3 finals and a World Championship quarter-final. Oh, well, that came out of nowhere.
Kyren Wilson, 16.
Well, very similar to the black of the spot that Judd missed earlier on when, well, just didn't seem any problem, just a lack of concentration. I think those misses today will you'll be able to count on one hand, but it's how they're punished, which is the important thing.
Well, Wilson furious in his seat because, as you say, he was just getting the momentum in the match.
Eight. 9. Sixteen. 17.
The reason Kyren was so angry in his chairs at this level and against this level of opponent, you expect it to cost you the frame. The way Judd's been scoring all week.
$24.
Again, got excellent power through the cue ball there. And one good shot here, one good positional shot. And you would, as I say, if you're Kyren, you're thinking it's frame over, but where's that cue ball going? Now, if he's not on the blue, this black has got some pressure on it. He was on the blue, which was obviously a much easier pot.
30. $31. $36. 37.
we've seen already in this frame, and indeed a previous one from Trump, an unexpected miss, but you back him strongly now
44.
to win this frame from here. Just a question if either one can get some sort of lead coming back this evening.
$49. 50.
Trump looking to win his third ranking title of the season. That would be, if he were to do that, a fifth time he'd done that in his career. In different seasons, won at least 3 titles, and not easy to win. Of course, Wilson's already done that this season.
57. 58. $64. 65.
As I said before, when Kyren missed it, the reason he was so angry is because he kind of was resigned to the fact it was going to cost him the frame, and it looks very much like it has done. Judd Trump has done what was expected
72.
and punished that lack of concentration severely by winning the frame in one visit.
73.
This means the more that Judd Trump, the longer he stays at the table,
79.
the more time Kyren spends dwelling on that easy miss. It's going to be a tough ask to make the century break that he's obviously keenly after.
Thank you. Judd Trump, 79.
Well,
Landing
79 will do, pouncing on the unexpected miss from Kyren Wilson. Judd Trump back in front. 50,000 first prize, but also bragging rights for now. They're seeded to meet in the Tour Championship final and, indeed, the World Championship final. Remember, this is their 5th meeting of the season. Wilson so far has won 3 of the 4, including 2 finals. But this is very different to the last final in Northern Ireland. He won the first 7 frames and went on to win 9-3. There's the average frame time, though, 11 minutes 38 seconds. This is your sort of snooker, Stephen. Getting on with it, going for their shots.
Yes, proper snooker. This is the proper aggressive snooker. Not a lot being refused. Another excellent pluck from Judd Trump from the edge of the pack. Big yellow to take on, but they've not been refusing much. Yeah, this is brilliant. Needs a cue ball to travel, but there was kind of no hesitation really in taking that yellow on.
3.
The red is still cuttable to the right middle, but the cue ball is going to be a challenge to control. Could play an aggressive safety, play the red that's closest to the cue ball into the pack, take the cue ball up to the baulk cushion, open the reds up. Or he could take the double on.
Judd Trump, 3.
But he has left a red for Kyren, which again, there's no way he's turning this down. It's kind of the situation, if you turn something down, you're showing weakness to your opponent. You can't afford to.
No, exactly right. And what a pot that was from Wilson. We saw how intense he was against Neil Robertson the other night. Bringing that same energy to this final.
Now, I'm talking about aggressive snooker. I'm a little bit surprised Kyren didn't go into the pack from that brown there. It was a perfect angle, big target.
Six. Ten.
Yeah, that's excellent cueing. Those are always missable from underneath the cushion. Again, what I loved about it was just there was no thought about the shot. I just got straight down and played it.
Eighteen. Nineteen.
The two reds that are just to the right of the bunch, the one furthest to the right, he may just play a little cannon onto that here. May not go full pace into them. Well, in fact, that's what he did do. Couldn't have played it much better.
24.
The downside, possibly the pink and blacker. Well, certainly not in the open. Pink's available to right corner. But again, very, very aggressive shot off the blue.
Wilson's only missed 3 pots using various rests in this tournament.
Okay. 25.
There was a 4-year spell there, 2020 to just last year, where he didn't beat Trump at all. But as I say, this season, having won the World Championship, all that confidence, clearly fancies doing so.
Well,
I didn't plan for that little flick on the red. And that's why there's a little bit of a grimace on the face of Kyren Wilson. Looks like he's going to have to play some sort of cannon here on pink or black.
Yeah.
To keep this break going. This could go wrong.
Thank you. 41.
Again, unwanted contact on another
38.
ball has scuppered his intended position. In and out of balk here with the cue ball. Well, he's played it softly. I think if you play it in and out of
Kyren
balk, you don't miss the
38.
red. Playing it softly makes it missable, which he has done. He'll be frustrated again, Kyren Wilson. To say the standard of this match, the standard of opponent for both players,
1.
every time you don't win the frame when you're at the table, you feel like it's a little bit of a failure and a little bit of a sign of weakness.
Eight. Trump 8.
Well, second time he's played a double. It's just, this thing can't turn a pot down, can't be seen to turn a pot down. But the problem is, if you don't get them, you can leave them. It's a different sort of pot he's left. This time it's a clip to the middle. Last time it was a terrific red to the corner. Wilson potted.
One. Five. Six. Top 10.
Well, this frame both players can't buy. Good positional shot. Let's end a break. And that's
Kyren
a
Wilson,
very,
13.
very poor positional, sorry, safety shot from Kyren Wilson. So the first scrappy frame of the match, you'd have to say. In a way, these very, very important to win. You say there'll be loads of frames won in one visit, but these frames that could sway either way could, say, decide this final.
One.
Well, it was something of a shot to nothing, but still a terrific pot. And he's on the green, so another chance for Trump here. 39 behind.
Four. Five.
It does sort of feel like they should meet in the World Championship final, doesn't it? But in fact, the last time the top two seeds played in the World Finals back in 1987, so it just doesn't seem to work out that way. But they're guaranteed to be in opposite halves, top two seeds this year.
12. Thirteen. Eighteen. 19. 26. 27.
'In. Now then, he will need the pink here.
34.
So blue to pink is going to be the shot.
Well,
they're not going in the middle of the pocket, but the most important thing, they are going in. You want to get as close to that pink as possible.
39.
To make it virtually unmissable. Don't want to be playing the pink with any sort of angle or from near those side cushions.
43. 48.
Yeah, it's okay, but it's more angled than he would have liked. This is a horrible shot.
Biggest of the final so far. Just caught the top cushion, didn't it? And these pockets have not been generous all week. So Kyren Wilson jumps out of his seat.
Well, to me, kind of bailed out a little bit. He tried to get the cover. Should have missed the pink. If you roll it in dead weight, you give it more chance of going in that pink.
6.
So we've had some very one-sided frames. This has come down to the last ball. Kyren Wilson to level up again.
Top 10 in the frame.
Tremendous stuff in what is a thoroughly engrossing final. Judd Trump and Kyren Wilson, top two seeds. In fact, Judd Trump and Kyren Wilson here contesting the final of the Players' Championship. A very dramatic 6th frame. Judd Trump had the final pink to lead 4-2. Missed it. Wilson potted pink and black. 3-3. So 2 more frames to come. Whatever happens now, it's going to be close coming back. 5-3 either way or 4 each. It's going to be some night. We'll be on air from 6:45 this evening to bring you the climax to what's been a terrific week and very interesting final with these two having this rivalry which has stretched back a few years. There was a while where Trump was on top, but clearly since winning that world title, we've been saying it all week, we've been saying it all season, Kyren Wilson just feels so good in himself.
Yeah, you always get the feeling you should just give them 9-9 now and let's just get on with the decider.
Judd Trump to break.
It could well happen later on tonight.
Well, Alan did a piece earlier on in the week about Judd Trump's excellent break-offs. They've not been excellent today. First frame, completely mishit it, and this one he's left a red to right middle. He's on the black. Again, it's a horrible shot. Cue ball near that side cushion. He plays these so well, Kyren Wilson. Plays them so positively. I mean, it's actually so unlucky where he's landed. It was a fantastic shot on the black.
8.
But again, it's all-out attack. It was actually a more comfortable shot than it first appeared because he could get to the middle of the cue ball with the tip of his cue, so it wasn't that tricky. I thought for a second he had to bridge over the other balls. Needs a good shot here. Avoid the baulk colours. In between yellow and brown twice. Didn't quite get the grab on the cue ball. Didn't get the check on it.
14.
You can't strike the cue ball much better than that to get right side of the blue. You'd be tempted to go into the pink here, bring everything into the open. Doesn't really want to risk tying the black up, but I think it's the shot. Well, he's not played it. He's played a more gentle cannon and played it very well.
20.
It's actually been a theme this week. I'm watching quite a lot of the players are break buildings. They're not really going into the pack early. They're trusting their cue ball to be able to negotiate 1 or 2 reds at a time. I say it's a good way to go about it if you can control that cue ball.
$28. 29.
Well, it's like the match with Robertson has carried on, really. He's got the same quick approach at the table, not hanging around, not doubting himself. Certainly fancying getting these shots that look at times like pressure balls.
36. $37.
Only 6 players have won at least 4 ranking titles in a season, so he would be the 7th if he were to triumph tonight.
$44. 45.
Judd Trump there watching on intently. He's not expecting to get back to the table, but you've got to be ready. If there is an unexpected miss, you've got to be ready to pounce with a counter-attack. So you've got to try and stay focused, even though in your heart you're thinking the frame's gone. Well, I used to try and read the table, read where the balls are, and trying to look for situations where it could go wrong for my opponent. But these 2 players all week have just been
58.
scoring savagely when they get in. They just don't look like leaving the table until the frame's won.
$59.
So as you can see, red and a colour needed. It was a ball from going 4-2 down.
$67.
But in winning this frame has the chance to be 5-3 up and coming back tonight.
$74.
Yeah, how pivotal that pink that Judd missed. Well, we'll know in time.
Yeah, had to try and keep it going with the plan. 2 snookers then.
And the frame.
In fact, Trump is not playing on. He's had enough of that frame. 1 more to come this afternoon. Can Judd Trump level up again? Will Kyren Wilson have the edge coming back tonight? We'll find out shortly. Wilson leading in Telford 4-3. This frame was the quickest of the whole week, just under 8 minutes. Kyren Wilson 4, Judd Trump 3. One more frame to come. As I say, whoever wins it, it's going to be close. But clearly Trump would rather 4 each than come out tonight trailing 5-3. They've both really gone for it. One of the secrets to why they're such great winners is they detest losing, both of them. We saw Wilson after the Masters, not in the best of spirits. Trump has been similar at times when he's lost big matches. And that's how it should be. Only one can go away with the trophy this evening.
The final frame of this session. Kyren Wilson to break.
So an hour and 24 minutes they've been playing, and this already the last frame of the afternoon.
Well, another poor break-off, this time from Kyren Wilson. Offers straight away an opportunity for Judd Trump.
1. For someone just speaking.
No, it's fine. Someone's phone's gone off.
Could you check your phones are all on silent, please?
Well, Trump could hear a phone ringing, or some noise from it.
Eight.
It's been a good atmosphere all week. The crowd's built up all week. The last few days been superb. Really terrific atmosphere to match the snooker.
9.
Now, this will be interesting to see what Judd does here. There is a red available to left corner. As I said, players have not always been going into the pack at the first opportunity. He has got a perfect angle in the blue to take the cue ball into the pink. He just had a little browse at the pack there to see if any reds were going near corner pockets. Yeah, he's trying to finish low in this red. And
14.
You know, and you're going to criticise someone who's scored over 90 centuries in a season, but I think that was a good time to go into the pack from the blue there. Blind pocket. This isn't easy. Oh, great shot. Great shot.
15.
Great control of the cue ball as well. It seems to be the fashionable thing to do now in break building.
22.
Try and pick off the reds.
Judd Trump 22.
And this was a bad miss. And although not certainly an easy pot, I don't think anyone expected Kyren to miss that.
Yeah, I mean, really this frame's no more important than any other, but it's going to be the last one for about 3.5 hours, and I think they're both sort of aware of that. Wilson desperate to get that cushion. Trump desperate to stop him.
No, I didn't fully commit there in that split the pack. Could have played it with a bit more pace.
Judd Trump, 8.
So it's 2 chances he's had. First time he missed, second time lost position. It's also the first time Trump's been behind in the whole tournament. So third chance in the frame for Trump, 30 in front. Red's nicely spread.
One. Three.
Kind of finished in no man's land here. The red near the left corner pocket. I suppose you could play for the black to the same pocket as the red, come underneath it, but it's not an easy shot. This red is a more difficult pot, but the positional side of it is more straightforward.
Four.
Well, I'll take that. It wasn't the way he played the shot, or the way he planned to play the shot, but he'll certainly take it. Although 5-3 behind wouldn't have been, certainly wouldn't have been a desperate result for Judd Trump. It just would put a little bit more pressure on the first frame of the evening to not go 3 frames behind. So that's why winning this frame is so important.
Yeah, they're so closely matched, these two. 13-12 Trump on the overall head-to-head.
16.
Just one place between them in the rankings. The two outstanding performers of the season. So it's not a great shock if Trump does level up here and make the final effectively tonight a best of 11. And I don't think either approach will change, however close the match is later. They're both still going to go for their shots. They both have that self-belief and that determination to be the last man standing.
25.
It should be some night. Just needs to make sure he kills this off now, because if something goes wrong here, he'll have 3 hours to think about it. So, a couple more pots, and it should be 4-4.
33.
Yeah, it's been a really good session of snooker. I suppose the only surprise has been no century breaks. The players have been scoring so highly, both of them all week. That's a little bit of a surprise, but it's still been very, very good attacking snooker from both players.
Well, he can just about make one. So maybe we will get one here. He brought that red out.
Play ball.
Well, he's dominated the frame.
41.
Kyren Wilson is not quite ready to concede, though. 71 behind, 59 on.
Yeah, I suppose what's made his decision to carry on is position of the pink and blue. The pretty good places to lay nasty snookers. He's going to pot this black.
Eight. Thank you. 9. Sixteen. 17. 24. Kyren Wilson, 24.
Got him again. It's ironic, really, because there's been basically no safety play all afternoon. But now, right at the end, Kyren Wilson trying to get the snookers. But this is not, even if he misses, it's going to be a free ball, surely. That's really what he's after from this, with the red. But he has gone round it, so there's one of them.
Kyren Wilson, 4.
Yeah, as I said, if the blue and pink weren't where they were, I think he would have shook hands, Kyren Wilson. But you can lay some really good snookers behind those two balls. Trouble is, to get 3 4-point snookers, you're probably going to have to lay about 12 to try and get those.
Yeah, and the other guy can get them also. Now, where's this red? I suspect it's going to be in now. Well, it's not because it's conceded. So very few people had a firm opinion about who was going to win this final when we started. That remains the case at the end of the afternoon session. It's been fast, free-flowing snooker. More of the same to come tonight. Judd Trump and Kyren Wilson all square at 4-4.